We all know that Albert Einstein was the greatest genius in history. He was so intelligent that he alone could outthink thousands of scientists. The things that we humans can't even imagine. Einstein not only imagined, but also understood them, and he made them easy for the whole world to comprehend. Albert Einstein was a physicist who developed the theory of relativity, the famous equation E equals mc squared, and the photoelectric effect. These discoveries shocked and amazed the entire world. Because of his groundbreaking work, he was also awarded the Nobel Prize. Seeing his extraordinary ability to think and understand, people believed that Einstein had a special brain, one that was vastly different from ordinary human brains. Even Einstein himself had an idea about this. That's why he did not want any research to be conducted on his body after his death. In fact, he had given instructions that after his death, his body should be cremated into ashes. But what Einstein feared happened. On April 18, 1955, when Einstein passed away at Princeton Hospital, the doctor performing the autopsy secretly removed his brain. He was curious to find out what was so special about the brain of the greatest genius in history. The doctor who stole Einstein's brain was Thomas Harvey. Rather than worrying about the consequences, he was more interested in studying this special brain. A few days later, when Princeton Hospital found out about Dr. Harvey's actions, he lost his job. However, Dr. Harvey somehow managed to convince Einstein's son, Hans Albert, to let him study his father's brain and uncover its secrets for the world. From that day on, Einstein's brain began a long journey. Dr. Harvey was a pathologist, meaning he specialized in post-mortem examinations. He thought he could study the brain of such a great genius, but the situation was that he had already lost his job at Princeton Hospital. Dr. Harvey had preserved Einstein's brain and took it to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he took several photos of it. He then cut the brain into 240 small pieces, preserved each piece in separate jars, and hid them in his basement. Because of this, Dr. Harvey frequently argued with his wife, who often threatened to throw the brain away. One day, the argument became so serious that the couple ended up getting divorced. Dr. Harvey then took Einstein's brain to Wichita, Kansas, where he got a job as a medical supervisor at a biological testing lab. In his free time, he tried to study Einstein's brain. Over the years, he moved to different cities with the brain, switching jobs frequently. Several years passed, but Dr. Harvey was unable to make any significant discoveries from the brain. Eventually, his medical license was revoked, and things got so bad that he had to take a job in a plastic factory. Finally, he made a wise decision. He sent different parts of Einstein's brain to the world's best neuropathologists for detailed research. Thus, in 1985, 30 years after the brain was stolen, the first study on Einstein's brain was published. Over the next 28 years, several research papers were published by neuropathologists worldwide. These studies revealed that Einstein's brain was significantly different from an average human brain. The most notable difference was in the corpus callosum, a part of the brain that connects the left and right hemispheres. It is important to understand that the human brain is divided into different sections. Every action we perform is first processed in the brain before sending signals to the respective body parts. The left brain controls the right side of the body. The right brain controls the left side of the body. For 90% of humans, the left brain is responsible for speech comprehension, mathematical calculations, writing, while the right brain is responsible for creativity, recognizing shapes, art, and musical skills. Now, you may be wondering what the corpus callosum has to do with all this. Imagine you are typing on a keyboard or using your phone. Both hands are busy typing, with some letters being typed by your right hand and others by your left hand. If you make a mistake with your left hand, your right hand will quickly correct it. This means that when the right brain makes a mistake, it immediately sends a signal to the left brain to fix it. The corpus callosum is the part of the brain that allows both hemispheres to communicate. Einstein's corpus callosum was much larger than that of an average human, meaning his left and right brains had a stronger connection. This allowed him to imagine and process complex problems and situations simultaneously. In addition to a larger corpus callosum, Einstein's brain structure was also quite different from an ordinary human's. Researchers believe that this led to better neural connections in his brain. A higher neuron flow meant that his mathematical calculation abilities were exceptionally strong. Einstein could solve complex mathematical problems in his mind without the need for a pen and paper. Another interesting finding from the research was about the size and weight of his brain. When Einstein's brain was weighed, it was 1,230 grams, whereas the average human brain weighs around 1,400 grams. Researchers believe that his brain had thinner layers, allowing for more neurons to exist. However, one of the biggest mysteries remains unsolved. Was Einstein truly a genius from birth? Interestingly, Einstein couldn't speak properly until the age of 5, while most children start talking at 2 or 3 years old. Even after he learned to speak, he preferred not to talk much and was always lost in his thoughts. His ability to memorize things was also quite weak. Despite his weak memory, Einstein's ability to think abstractly and visualize concepts beyond the limits of conventional thought made him one of the greatest minds in history. He once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination encircles the world." His genius was not just a product of his unique brain structure, but also of his relentless curiosity, deep thinking, and refusal to accept things at face value. He questioned the universe, time, space, and even the nature of reality itself. Perhaps the true secret of genius is not in the brain itself, but in how a person uses it. Einstein's story teaches us that intelligence is not about memorization, but about curiosity, creativity, and the courage to think differently. And as long as humanity continues to question, imagine, and seek the unknown, Einstein's legacy will live on, forever inspiring those who dare to dream beyond the stars.